Hello, I am Doragon, Kishu, Paladin, and Dragon Rider. Welcome to Dragon Riders Around the Watch D&D Talk, where I mainly come here to talk with other people in chat about Dungeons and Dragons. Hopefully down the road I would like to do some live streaming of live play. I'm not sure where that's at right now. And for now, and I'll be continuing to do Around the Watch as well. I usually pick a topic just to have something to talk about, because this is going to be this video is going to be available in case you're not seeing it live. It's going to be available. It's going to be on Twitch, but I'm also going to upload it to my YouTube channel so people can watch it there, and they can also reply to any of the things that are talked about during the stream. Let me just take a peek to see if there's anybody in here. Not yet. Alrighty. All right. So, Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. So, a couple things. Right now, I'm dungeon mastering 2 campaigns. I do one that's basically every 2 weeks, and I do it on Discord. That's been not challenging. There's a music thing that I've been using, the Groovy music bot, and then that. YouTube took that, got rid of that, had them take that down, and then I used another one, and they're taking that one down too. So I was enjoying adding music to Discord, so I just got to try to find out if there's a way to either upload some music and do that. So that's what I'm doing with that. And then my other campaign is one I've been running since early 2018. It's a 1-person campaign that I run for my girlfriend Kate. We actually didn't play for like 9 weeks, which is a long time. It might be the longest we've gone without playing, because in the first couple of years we played a lot, but she's been busier the last last year really, and so we've played less. But we did finally play a couple of days ago. It was great to be back. She is level 26. She's very close to level 27 Warlock, and interesting things going on there. It was good to play that again. In addition, I've also I had a birthday September 26th, and some people gave me some birthday money, and I picked up the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Now I have several of the Wizards of the Coast books, but I really haven't used many because I homebrew. But I was so drawn in by the design of the product that I picked them up, and I figured at some point either I'll give them away and have people run me through them within a character, and or maybe I'll run them at some point. I don't like them just sitting around. I do like having a shelf full of D&D books is great, but I do have a thing about liking things to be used. So, but when I got the reason that I got the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, a couple reasons. I am designing a new world that I will probably be using, a new realm. That I will probably be using if I do any online streaming of games on here. I also have been testing it with my brother, who I don't get to play with very often. He lives 8 hours north, and he's not really into computers and all that, but we've been playing on the phone a little bit, and so that was kind of cool. But I've been wanting to bring the Fae into the realm. The realm has an access to the Fae from this realm, I should say. It's kind of like the tip of the Fae is coming out, and then you can make your way in. But Wild Beyond the Witchlight has a lot about the Fae, and it has adventures in it and all that too. I'm going to read the goal is to read the book. I'm not a big reader, but I started reading it, and the goal is to read through the book and then potentially bring some of it into either the campaign I run for this, or my brother, or for other people that enter into the Fae in any of my campaigns. So anyway, yeah, I've been really enjoying that. So something that really cool happened. My girlfriend really surprised me on my birthday. That's probably the most incredible gift I've ever received. It was anyway. She got me. I thought for sure I'd never own this. I've wanted it for over a couple of years, the special edition core rule books for D&D 5e. Originally, when I first saw it, I think it was a couple $100 or whatever. And I just, at that time when it was out, when I first saw it, I just didn't have the money for it, and I just never got it. And I wanted it forever. I love the art. And then I watch Critical Role. Don't always watch the full sessions, but we usually watch the beginning. And the reason I bring that up is because Matt uses these books, and it's just kind of like, oh, it's hard to see them in use and not own them. Just because more than anything else, I've dungeon mastered in D&D. I started playing when I was a teenager. Basic, you guys have heard this, anybody that's watched my stuff, basic, expert, and then I started to move in AD&D rules to kind of add dimension and more depth to the rules. And that was in my teens. And then in my 20s, I played again a campaign. That was my second campaign that I had ran. And then in my 30s, it was the 30s, I think. Yeah, in my 30s, it was World of Warcraft. I played for like 4.5 years. But then in my 40s, I started to play. I got back to D&D, and I really liked the 5e system. I had been exposed to it by seeing the Critical Role, and the rules seemed good, so I picked up the player's manual. And in 2017, I actually was a player. Some of you guys have heard, some of this is redundant. I've mentioned this stuff before and other things I've done. But 2017, I started out as a player, even though I'd always been a dungeon master. I wanted to familiarize myself with the 5e rules, so I thought it would be better to start as a player. So I played in a group that was good, and it was a mix. Anyway, that group kind of fell apart. But I got familiar enough with the rules that I purchased the Dungeon Master Guide and the Monster Guide, and in 2018, my girlfriend said, "Hey, will you run a campaign for me?" So that's how that happened. But yeah, I've wanted these forever, and she usually does different kinds of things on my birthdays. We're not, but she's never gotten me a present like this, and because, like I said, it was a couple $100s originally, and now it's like much higher. And I figured, you know what? Unless I make a bunch of money, I'm probably not going to ever own these, you know. And so she shocked me. She handed me a box she said it's heavy, and I was like, whoa, that's heavy. I thought it was like a metal chest or something. I opened it up, and these books are just beautiful. I like them so much, and because I know they're so hard to get unless you've got money, part of me wants to like figure out a way to try to generate money with people to try to give away one of these to some random person once every month or something. I know it's it may not be that easy generating the money for this, but I just feel like people should own these as much as possible. And I know a lot of people probably want these and never can't afford them or whatever. And that was definitely me. I couldn't afford it, but she shocked me. And this desk isn't even worthy of these books, but I needed to put them somewhere. So yeah, so those have been really nice. And yeah, other than that, this Sunday I have a session with my Discord group. Very much looking forward to it. Would have been last Sunday, but my birthday was on that day, and tough decision. I was like, D&D on my birthday sounds pretty great, but it didn't quite work with what I had going on my birthday, so pushed it off to this Sunday. So very looking forward to that. We are in my homebrew, one of my continents in my homebrew. This one's kind of an interesting continent. It's called Aquarium. It's let me make sure, see if there's anybody in here in chat. So yeah, see, I feel like what does that say? Have this too. If you can hear me, welcome to chat. If there's anything you'd like to talk about as far as D&D, just interrupt me, because that's actually what this show is about. I only have subjects that I talk about just so that there is something on here, because I do upload this to my YouTube. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, we're in one of my continents. Now, this homebrew is a land I use for Kate, but she's been to Aquarium once for her group. But there's a place called Temples of the Gods. It's a bunch of temples of different gods, and then there's a town just south of it. And yeah, so our group's been there's a cleric on our group, and their god is Tempest, and Tempest has been wanting him to gather champions and he didn't really know why till last week or last session, or the one before. Basically, Tempest wants 8 gods to deal with a particular situation in the future. That's about as much as he's told this cleric, and his party has been kind of aiding him, helping him. None of them have been as driven. Um, they haven't really gotten into I think they're trying to figure out their own thing too, but they really have been kind of caught up in aiding their friend, and that has been very cool. I'm looking forward to continuing that on Sunday. Other than that, I have a little more birthday money, and I'm like, kind of wanting more dice, and I'm like, gosh, dude, you've got so many dice you haven't used yet, and I'm not even I don't know what signifies a dice goblin. I don't know how many sets of dice you need to have to be considered a dice goblin, but I know that I have more than I can use right now. When I was playing in a campaign where I was a player, that kind of got halted a few months ago. I have 3 sets I use for that paladin fighter, and I'll just see. This is rainbow metal ones. Love them. That was for when he was a fighter, but then he got killed and reincarnated, and then he kind of pursued being a paladin after that. I don't want to say he found the Lord, but he found a god. And these are the paladin ones. So when he does paladin things, I use the green gold metal ones, which were a gift from Kate's dad. And I had seen them before on Amazon, but they were much cooler in person. And then when he uses his bow, he uses these, which a lot of you guys have seen this one, the blue, black with the red. That brings up another point. I very much miss being a player. Now, granted, my quote-unquote career as a DM, I've hardly ever been a player. I played on a couple on. I've never. In fact, this Discord is the first online thing that I've dungeon mastered, but I have over the years done a little bit of been a player in a couple of sessions on different online things. None of those worked out, but I got to be Paladins are my favorite. Doragon, the name Doragon is a pseudo name for me. Doragon Kishu is a dragon rider and paladin. Doragon, I've never said this before. I've never created an actual character called Doragon, other than for my Twitter, Dungeons and Dragon Twitter. But perhaps I will play Doragon, paladin and dragon rider someday. That would be kind of cool. And like I said, I haven't been a player much, and but my girlfriend at some point wanted to be a DM, and she wanted to run more than a single player group. So I found one of the people I interact with on Twitter, and we started a group a couple years ago. And we played for a couple years. We brought in a couple more of my friends, or my friend and his wife, who's now my friend. And but then we started playing only every 5 or 6 weeks. It got kind of spread out because of schedules, and then our friend left the group a few months ago, and the original guy we played with, and we're not sure what's going to happen there, if anything's going to happen there, because the story, he was a very big part of the story. But I will say I got to be a fighter for a while, and I got to be, and then a fighter paladin, and it was the highest level character. I think we were maybe level 7. I can't remember for sure, or were we 9? But it was fun. But now that it's been a few months since we halted that game, I would love to be a player again. So I'm kind of starting to think about looking for a game or something like that. One of the other things I'm kind of coming up with me, so a year ago or so, I backed a Kickstarter for a cyberpunk roleplay system that is based on the 5e mechanics. And I was very excited. I've never ran a campaign that wasn't Dungeons and Dragons. So I was very much looking forward to getting a group together and running that. But they have had a lot of issues, delays, but it's partly because of the pandemic and other things. But the bottom line is it's a year later and I haven't gotten my stuff yet, but hopefully it will come soon. And then I'll have to figure out a way to do a cyberpunk campaign. But that doesn't answer the desire to actually be a player. So just realized in the last couple of days that I want to find a game. I want to be a player. And then to see, will he be a paladin again? Because I love paladins, but I really should try another. I really want to try. Love to do a warlock. They're amazing. and well, you can customize any character, but the NPC warlocks that I've created for Kate's campaign, and she is a warlock, have been each one has been very different from the other, and I really like that. And then, but I'm also interested. Man, it would be so much fun to be a bard in a group. I mean, it would just be so much fun. And beyond bard, let's see, ranger. I mean, I'm a big Aragorn fan. It's funny. I was watching this reaction video. Somebody that was watching the original Lord of the Rings movies and Peter Jackson, and he kept saying Aragon. So that's why I just said Aragon, because it's Aragorn, I believe. Now he's got me confused. No, it's Aragorn. Anyway, yeah, my original NPC. I have NPCs that run with. I usually run NPCs that run with the groups, unless the groups are big. But we do actually have a decent size. My current one that I run on Sundays is a 5-person group, so I don't have to have NPCs in the group, but I enjoy it. So there's some people coming home here, so I'm going to mute it for a second. Yeah. So anyway, my point was the first NPC that I ran in my first campaign when I was a teenager, I ran an NPC that was part of the group. He was a ranger, really inspired by Aragorn. I don't think I've ever had a player character as a ranger though, and so I very much want to play a ranger. I've played lots of NPC rangers and I love them, but I've never gotten to really get into one, and so I might want to play a bard or a ranger or a warlock. I mean, it would be great to play wizard, but I'll probably put that on hold. But yeah, so anyway, hey, that's the end of this around the watch. Not just because someone got home. I don't like these to go too long if there's nobody in chat. There's somebody in chat, but they didn't respond. So anyway, I will get this up on my YouTube in case you don't see this live. If you have any thoughts or questions, you can reply once it's on the YouTube. And I appreciate you checking out if you do. And you have an excellent weekend.